I have to carry around a card, I have to carry around keys, I have to carry around a mobile phone. I think transhumanism is the step to put all of that inside my body so that not only my brain is smart, but my body is too.
A nice big breath in. Super. Did you feel much of the second one?
Not as bad
as the first one.
You feel a bit of a pinch. It's the only way that we can progress. We've made all sorts of technology to do all sorts of incredible things, but none of them respond to my biology. I can understand why people might think it's an extreme thing to do. I can understand why people might associate it with self-hatred or self-destruction, but really, I think it's a way to evolve.
So we want these sitting somewhere-ish around here, and then just relax, and then we're gonna find where we're gonna go.
I have in my left hand an RFID chip, that's my door key. In my right hand, I have an NFC chip. That is my business card. In the middle of my right finger, I have a magnet that lets me sense EM fields. I have the contraceptive implant, a 3D printed kneecap, and now 2 LED implants.
Cool. Just gonna smush that for a second.
I was in a very bad car accident that fractured my back in multiple places, both my ankles and both my knees. So my kneecap is completely 3D printed from the NHS. I've also had multiple needles up and down my spine repeatedly and multiple procedures. If I didn't have my chip in my hand, I wouldn't be able to easily access the door. And when one hand's full of your stuff, another hand's full of a cane, it's really handy to have a free hand free where I don't have to hobble for canes because that's my cane hand. This one is my business card at the moment, but I can put on there all of my medical information. So if something happens and I'm incapacitated and I can't tell somebody my blood type, my medical history, and something goes wrong, they can look it up and they can see all of my medical information and make me safer if I have to go to the hospital.
You can only see one above the skin, but there's actually 3 bits of test node in there. I call myself either a biohacker or a grinder or a practical transhumanist. They all basically mean the same thing. They all just mean somebody that takes transhumanism into their own hands. You get sterile tools, you get a little sterile field out, which is like a little sterile fold out thing that stops you getting germs everywhere. And then you cut a hole, maybe that's with a scalpel, maybe that's with a needle, whatever it is, it comes out of a sterile package. You put whatever device it is in the hole. Sometimes you need stitches, most of the time you don't. Most of the time steri strips are fine, and then you take care of the wound until it heals up, and then you say, ah, that worked, or oh, bummer, that didn't work. In theory, I care what happens to me. In practice, I don't really care what happens to me so much as I care about data. So I would much rather do an interesting experiment that might have some risk to it than not do the experiment because there's risk.
I think that people would see it as an extreme thing because they're looking from a historical perspective. They're not looking forward.
I don't think implants are inevitable. I do think they'll get better, longer lasting, look cooler, be prettier, have more functionalities, have all this type of stuff, and it's going to be one more option people have. I love having my keys in my hand so that way I don't need to carry keys about with me. My partner, who could get the exact same chip I have, wants nothing to do with it, and that's fine. Just different choices. I think we'll just have more choices.